This video shows how to make a paper crane using the art of paper folding called origami. Origami is an art form that comes from Japan. Instead of adding color or sound to make art, origami makes art simply by transforming or changing a square piece of paper. To get good at origami takes lots of practice. The more neatly you can make each fold, the more beautiful the final result will be. The paper crane is world famous. According to legend, if you make 1,000 paper cranes, your wish will come true. Let's get started. Like all origami, the paper crane begins with a square piece of paper. My piece of paper has a blue front and a white back, but you can use any piece of paper, with or without a front and a back. I'm going to start with the white side up, and I'm going to fold my square into a triangle that looks like a mountain by matching the corner at the bottom with the corner at the top. I'll match them together as close as I possibly can, and then I'll use my finger to press down the fold. This triangle looks a little bit like a mountain with the longest side on the bottom. I'm going to take the corners that are on the bottom and I'm going to fold them together to fold my mountain in half. And I'll press the fold. Now I'm going to take my half mountain and twist it around so that it looks kind of like a flag. At the top of my flag is a point, and if I open the point a little, I'll see one point on top and one point on bottom. I'm going to take only the point that's on top and I'm going to flip it up a little bit, and I'm going to stick my finger inside and open it up very gently so that it looks kind of like a flower. I'm going to take the point that's at the top of the flower and pull it down, push it down till it meets the point that's at the bottom of the flower. When they're matched up as closely as I can match them, I'm going to gently push the folds flat and press them with my fingers. This is called creasing. Now I'm going to take what I've made and flip it over again. And I'm going to take this corner that's at the top and flip it up just like I did before. It even helps to flip it all the way across to the other side. If you hold down this paper as you flip it across, it will help you loosen up the crease for the next step. So I'm just going to flatten the middle a little bit here. And then I'm going to fold it back up to the middle. Looks kind of like a sundial now. And I'm going to stick my finger inside the opening. Very gently open it all the way back up to the corner so that it looks like a flower again. And I'm going to take the corner that's on top of the flower and push it down to the corner that's at the bottom. And when they're matched up as close as I can, I'm going to gently flatten it and press the creases. What I've made here is called a square base. Square because when you turn it on its side, it's like a square. But I'm actually going to hold it like it's a diamond, because that way the open part is at the bottom, and at the top there's a closed part where I cannot see inside. I want the open part where I can see inside to be on the bottom. I'm going to take my square base and I'm going to turn it into a diamond base. Let me show you how I'm going to do that. These corners on the side, I'm going to take them one by one and fold them into the middle. I'm going to take one of these corners and leave the other one on the table. And I'm going to fold it into the center line so that this edge matches up with this center line as close as I can get it. And once it's as close as I want it to be, I'm going to press it flat and take this side, the corner that's on this side, and I'll leave one on the table just like I did before. I'm going to match it up to the middle, and I have something extra that's on my side helping me now. This corner and this corner should match together. I'll press my fold. And now I've got what looks kind of like an ice cream cone. Do you see it? Where this on the bottom that we just made would be like the cone, and on top this little triangle could be like the ice cream. Well, I'm going to take the ice cream and I'm going to fold it down as far as I can without folding any parts of the cone. And I want the tip, the corner that's on the tip, to touch the center line. And once that's all folded and the crease has been pressed, I'm going to open it back up. And I've made kind of a kite shape here. If you see, the outline of the kite goes up and on top and down, and then in the middle would be like the kite frame. And that's going to help me when I go to open the square base into a diamond base. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'll flip it over and make sure that the open part where I can see inside my square base is still facing down. And I'm going to take one of the corners and leave the other one on the table. I'm going to take one of the corners and fold it into the center line, just like I did before, and press the crease, and take this corner and fold it into the center line again, and press the crease, and I've got my ice cream cone once more, the ice cream cone on the bottom and the ice cream on the top. I'm going to fold the ice cream on top down like it's being eaten. And I want my top corner to match the center line again. And press the crease, and then I'll open it up, and I have a kite on this side and a kite on this side. Now this is the trickiest part of the crane, and it takes some practicing. I'm going to take just the top piece of paper, not the folds that are down here, and not the piece of paper that's down here, just this top piece of paper, and I'm going to start to pull it up and pull it up and pull it up, and eventually it will catch on this line that's in the middle. That's actually from part of the kite, and I'm going to keep opening it while leaving that line there in the middle, and it's going to start to look like a boat. If you see, the sides of the boat are starting to come up as I open up my base, and I want that to happen. I want the sides of the boat to fold into the middle. Actually, I want them to go right up against the center line. And then once they're there, I'm going to press them flat very gently. And then on this side, I'm going to, if it wrinkles up a little bit, all you have to do is poke your finger in very gently and smooth it. So I'm going to fold this side into the center line and then press the fold flat. And it wrinkled again, so I just used my finger to smooth the wrinkle, and then I kept on folding. And now this, I've got a diamond here. I'm going to make the diamond again on the other side. So I'll flip it over, and I'll take just this top layer of paper, and I'll leave these parts in the middle. I'm going to pull up my top layer of paper, and again I'm going to make the boat. And then keep pushing till the sides of the boat start to come in towards the center line. And I'll start with this side. And if it gets wrinkled, just gently push it back into place. And then on this side, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to let that go in towards the center, smooth all my wrinkles out, and flatten it. Now I'm looking at how on this side this doesn't match exactly the way I want it to, so I'm just going to squeeze it out and then flatten it again. Especially when you're getting started with origami, it's one of the most important parts is knowing how to fix mistakes, because mistakes happen. Now I've got my diamond base, and let's look at this diamond base kind of closely. Let's observe how at the top of the diamond, the triangle is solid, it doesn't come apart. And at the bottom of the diamond, the triangle comes apart, and it looks kind of like legs, like it's walking across the table. So the top part where the triangle is solid, that's going to be the wings of the crane, and the bottom part that are like legs, they're actually not going to be the crane's legs, they're going to be the crane's head and the crane's tail. So here's how we're going to make those legs into that. First, we're going to make them a little bit narrower, and here's how we'll do that. Let's take a look at these legs, the leg-like parts very closely. If you'll see, there's a fold on top and a fold on the bottom. So I'm going to take just the fold that's on top, and I'm going to fold it in towards the center line, just like when we made the kite. And I'll press my crease, and I'll do the same thing on this side. And then I'm going to flip it over and do the same thing on the back. And now my diamond base has very narrow legs and slightly narrower wings on top. I'm going to take one of these legs, I'm going to take the neater leg and turn it into the head. Because everyone focuses on the head, I want the head to be the neatest part. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up where these two folds come together with my pointer fingers. I'll put them inside, and then I'll take my thumbs and I'll flip up the bottom so that the leg that was pointed down is now pointing up, like a neck. And I'm going to take it and I'm going to fold it in half like a book. And if it gets a little bit wrinkled, just use my thumbnail to smooth out where I want it to fold together, and then I'll pinch it. And I can decide if I want my crane's neck to be arching way up or reaching way forward or in the middle somewhere. And I'll pinch the bottom. And that's its neck. So I'm going to make the head almost the same way. I'm going to open this up, open up the neck with my thumbs, and I'll take my pointers and push down about a third of the way down. And that will become the head. And I'm going to fold it in half again and pinch. So I've got the neck here and the head here. And now I'm going to take this other piece that looks like a leg and I'm going to make it into the tail. The same exact way. I'm going to open it up with my fingers, flip up with my thumb, use my thumbnail to find the fold, and then I'll fold it in half like a book and pinch. And that is how to make a paper crane. Only 999 cranes left.